Please join me in our prayer illumination. Come, Holy Spirit, and be with us today. Fill us with your love and peace. Speak to us your wisdom. Help us remember in times of stress, you are with us. Quiet our hearts and show us how to rest in your love and grace. As we celebrate your glory and truly worship you, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. I ate cheating this week. I had Carol the scripture. She made it out so I could read it. Something's going wrong with my glasses, I guess. I don't know. Or I'm getting older, I'm not sure which it is. Probably both. Matthew 11:25-30. At that time Jesus said, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from the wise and the intelligent and have revealed them to infants. Yes, Father, for such was your gracious will. All things have been handed over to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all you that are weary and are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and I will learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Talk about stress. Well, if there's ever a time in our history of the nation that stress is an issue, don't you think? Someone has said that cleaning with kids in the house is like brushing your teeth while eating Oreos. Another person has said that behind every good marriage is a great house cleaning service. Speaking of cleaning your house, let me ask you a question. What is your go-to technique for relieving stress? When you really are back against the wall and stress is there, how do you deal with that? Just about everyone feels overwhelmed with stress from time to time. It's just a part of our society. A mental health foundation in the United Kingdom ran a poll on the effects of stress. Respondents to the poll said that overwhelming feelings of stress led them to overeat, drink, and smoke. People reported that stress made them feel depressed, anxious, alone, and even suicidal. Unrelieved stress is a serious condition, folks. We all need healthy techniques for dealing with it. We all have our ways, you know. Some techniques may be helpful, and there's others that are a little ridiculous. I bet you can't guess what I chose to talk about. I read recently that many people are finding temporary relief from their stress by watching videos on YouTube, whatever that is. It's not surprising, I guess. But what is surprising is what they're watching on YouTube. Anybody want to guess what they're watching on YouTube to relieve stress? Huh? That would have been a good one. He said cat videos. No. They're watching videos of people cleaning their houses. There's a whole industry on the internet built around people who create videos on how to organize and clean your house. These videos are hugely popular with millions of fans. Many fans of cleaning videos say that watching someone else organize and clean their house makes them feel less anxious or in control of their own surroundings. Hosts for the most popular cleaning shows regularly get emails telling them how their show helped them with their anxiety, depression, and various life crises. Watching home video of cleaning. One young woman says she falls asleep each night to cleaning videos because they clear her head of anxiety and fear. Another young woman says watching the videos makes my head stop rushing around for a bit. Another fan says, I think there's a lot of aspects to our daily lives that seems chaotic, so watching someone else in a state of order is relaxing. Now that all seems like harmless and somewhat strange to deal with stress, but I guess it is harmless. But it doesn't tackle the deeper problems of our life that are cause of stress in the first place. Well, that's our topic for today, dealing with stress. By the way, this is a sermon that I particularly need to hear. Stress is a part of my life. It has been for all my life, I think. Dealing with it has always been an issue. By the way, an organization in South Korea has discovered a novel way to help people deal with stress. This organization stages living funerals. Again, you heard me right. Participants at living funerals write out a short testament of their last thoughts and wishes. Then they're put on their funeral shroud and lie down in a closed coffin for about 10 minutes. How like that? The purpose of living funerals, which is a free service offered by Highland Healing Center, is to help people gain a new perspective on life. About 25,000 South Koreans have undergone a living funeral so far. The director of the Healing Center says that some people have reconciled with family or friends after a living funeral. Others have changed careers. Some participants who were contemplating suicide credit their living funeral with changing their minds. The purpose of the living funeral, according to the director, is to realize that happiness is the present. Now there's one I want to put on my desk or on my bumper sticker or something. Happiness is in the present. Happiness is in the present. Not back there, and not back right now. Most of us would agree with this, but too many of us don't live like that. All too many of us describe our lives as busy, hectic, even crazy at times. That seems to be the norm for our society. No one has any time anymore. No one gets enough rest. Stress is always around us, always there. So we better learn how to deal with it. I'm working on it. In our Bible passage today, Jesus challenged the people around him with these words. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you'll find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jesus is saying to us that weariness is not meant to be our natural way of living. It may be the way we live, but that's not the natural way. That's not what God created us for. In fact, no matter how productive our out-of-control schedules makes us feel, by the way, there's one part of it there. We get a certain satisfaction out of being just overwhelmed. I don't know why exactly. I guess it makes us feel important or something. I don't know. But it's just, we're really important because we've got so much going on around our lives. But that's not what God created us for. In fact, no matter how productive our out-of-control schedules make us feel, it's actually living in opposition to the rhythms of life that contribute to peace, clarity, and purposeful living. So it's not the best way to live. Weariness and burdens blind us to the true purposes of our lives and bind us with a sense of powerlessness that isolates us. We begin to feel alone, meaningless to the world. When you're weary and burdened, your focus narrows to what is right in front of you, to what is urgent instead of what is important. Now, this behavior is the normal for our culture, so we don't question it. That's the way it is, that's the way it is. The way life is. Not the way it used to. Except that Jesus says that isn't the way things are meant to be at all. By the way, I read recently about another group devoted to giving us rest. Now, this one is actually a business, believe it or not. In 2005, a store called Minneapolis opened in Minnesota's Mall of America. Now, you notice Minneapolis. It seemed for 70 cents a minute, tired shoppers can rent a soundproof room for napping. The room has spatial themes like deep space, Asian mist, and tropical island. Or if you don't like napping, you can sit in the store's massage chair and gaze at a waterfall, listen to soft music, and breathe in the positive ionization-filtered air, wherever that is. The owners of the store advertise it as an enjoyable escape from the fast-paced lifestyle. However, rest for our souls is not the same thing as a nap, or a vacation, or breathing in positive ionization-filtered air while watching a fake waterfall. It's not a temporary escape from our stress. Rest for our souls is a reorientation of our values and perceptions of life to match up with the values and perceptions of God, the one who created us, the source of our soul. Listen to Jesus' words again. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. You'll find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light. So the first thing Jesus is saying to us is you have a soul. or to be more accurate, actually, you are a soul. You're not a random collection of cells. You're not the sum of your current circumstances. You're a work of art made in the image of God. You have the imprint of the eternal, all-powerful God within you. Your soul is a mark of God's abundant love for you. It marks you as incredibly valuable in God's eyes. We must never forget that, folks. Who we are. We just see ourselves that way sometimes. Mike Jaffe was a young, successful businessman working for a Fortune 500 company. In his mid-30s, he began to realize he wasn't fulfilled in his work. He neglected his family, and he felt disconnected from any greater purpose in his life. Every morning, Mike's wife would drive him to the train station for his 2-hour commute to New York City. Their 1-year-old daughter slept in the back seat on the way to the station. Mike worried. He rarely saw his daughter when she was awake, actually. And his wife was practically a single parent. His success at work wasn't making a meaningful difference in the world, actually. His life was so hectic, he barely had time to think. But all of Mike's colleagues and friends lived like this. Well, who was he to think that life could be any different? Just for him. Then it happened. One morning, Mike decided he would stay home and eat breakfast with his wife and daughter and take the late train to work. Now, to him, this was a huge sacrifice. All his colleagues came early and stayed late. And he couldn't afford to stand out, which he would. But he was just so tired of being controlled by his job and missing out on his family. So that morning, Mike and his wife and daughter had a great time eating breakfast together and chatting about their week. And Mike took the late train to his office. Folks, because of this one decision to reconnect with his family, Mike Jaffe was not in his office, which was on the North Tower of the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, when the first airplane slammed into the building. One decision. His life was spared by a simple decision one morning to spend time with his family. Mike Jaffe has since then written a book about the tragedy of losing his friends and colleagues in September 11 attacks. It's time to wake up. Your life is calling. He says his mission now is to be a human wake-up call, to convince people to live meaningful lives that don't revolve around society's definition of success. Jesus is the ultimate wake-up call for your soul, folks. Listen to the statements he made for your soul. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world when you forfeit your soul? But what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Jesus cares about our soul because he knows that our souls are a reflection of God's image within us. That's what it is, our soul is. That's the first thing. Jesus is saying through this passage, we have a soul, we are a soul. The second thing is we have a Savior. We have a bridge between our soul and God. Jesus did not say, come to me, all you, and all your troubles will go away. I want to make that very clear. I kind of stumbled. Jesus did not say, come to me, and all your troubles will be rolled away. He said, come to me and I'll share your life. You won't be alone anymore. That's what he meant when he said, take my yoke upon you and learn from me. Jesus lived every moment knowing that there were certain things worth living and dying for. And everything else is just noise. Jesus knows what it's like to be tired. He knows what it's like to be lonely and misunderstood and abandoned. He knows what it's like to pour our heart out, soul into a mission and not see any results. They be counted on walking away. You have a Savior who chose to live as we live, as human beings. So he can show us that our identity, purpose, strength, and hope are not based on our circumstances. This is where we often want to put it. They're based on the reality of a loving God within us. Now let me tell you about a young boy named Caleb. Caleb was diagnosed with a nervous system disease that left him with temporary paralysis. You can imagine how Caleb's parents hate to see their little boy slowly recover from this illness. One day, Caleb's dad came to visit him at school. From a distance, he watched as 5-year-old Caleb limped across the playground. Caleb's father was heartbroken to see the other kids playing all around his son, games in which Caleb just couldn't participate. But then he saw Caleb's best friend, Tyler, come up to Caleb. Now, Tyler could have been off with the other kids running and jumping and playing, but he chose to walk slowly alongside Caleb for the rest of the recess. Now, Tyler didn't take away Caleb's burdens. He simply walked with him and loved him in his weakness. Jesus does the same thing for us. And having that love and power freely available to us makes any burden easy to bear. We have a soul. We have a Savior. And finally, Jesus is saying to us in this passage, we have a solution. A solution to our weariness and burdens. Listen to this, Ron. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. You'll find rest for your soul, for my yoke is easy, my burden is light. Final story. I want to tell you about a woman named Rose who has experienced unbelievable stress in her life. Stress that really should put our anxieties into perspective. Please listen. Rose is a woman in Rwanda who lost most of her family in the Rwanda genocide of 1994. Remember that? Horrible. Hutu citizens of Rwanda, which were the same nationality as the Tutsis, murdered more than 800,000 Tutsi citizens in 100 days. Didn't have to happen. Could have been stopped. The United Nations was there. They didn't stop. Most of them were killed by machetes. Rose and her 2 daughters survived the attacks. How does Rose deal with the shock and grief of witnessing such carnage in which she lost members of her own family? How does she deal with that? She explains it this way, and I quote, "For this I have Jesus. For this I have Jesus." Rose has adopted 2 children who were orphaned in the attacks. She supports her small family of 5 by translating Christian tracts into local language and organizing an annual conference for widows. There are many. What inspires her? She says, "For this I have Jesus." Her heart breaks for what she's lost, but she's determined to move forward for the sake of her children. How does she face the future with courage? One more time, she says, "For this I have Jesus. For this I have Jesus." This life can take so much away from us, folks. But there's a part of us that cannot be taken away. It's not affected by our outward circumstances or our inner doubts. It's that eternal stamp on your very being that says we were made in the image of God, and that is our soul. God loves us so much that He came in the form of Jesus to share your life and to die for you, and that, folks, is our Savior. Come to Him and admit your life to His guidance, His priorities, and find rest for your soul. That's our solution. Let's pray. For this we have Jesus. I guess that's all I need to say, really. In our times of struggle, for this we have Jesus. Times of doubt, for this we have Jesus. And the list goes on and on. For this we have